Well, welcome. This is your 3-minute Wiley Manager crash course. And today, Jed, we're talking about being Columbo of workplace investigations.
Workplace investigations. If you're a manager for any length of time, at some point in time, somebody's going to come to you with a complaint.
Yep.
Sometimes those complaints, you can just have a quick chat and they're done. Others will require an investigation for you to go through in order to determine how to proceed.
Right on. So Jed and I talk about this at length in our full-length podcast that you can pick up at www.wileymanager.com or on YouTube or on iTunes or just about anywhere else. But just give it to us in a nutshell, Jed, in 3 minutes or less. Tell us about workplace investigations.
Sure. Well, I'm going to suggest that there are 6 steps to doing a workplace investigation. So maybe what I'll do on the 3-minute version here is walk you through what those 6 steps are. And if you find it interesting, then go pick up the full-length version so you can hear more about them.
Right on.
The first step in your workplace investigation is to assess the complaint. As I said a little bit earlier, you need to assess whether the complaint is of a serious nature that might require an investigation. Some do and some will not. So we talked a little bit about what kind of assessment criteria you might apply to somebody that's coming forward with an issue.
Right on. Step number 2.
Determine who should be involved. So depending on what you learned in step 1, you may have to involve HR or legal or, in extreme cases, even the police perhaps.
The police?
Determine who you should involve in your investigation going forward from there.
Okay. Step number 3.
Determine what the interim status of some of the individuals is. So in some cases, you might need to send some people home while you figure out, while you conduct your investigations. In other cases, you can just leave it the way it is. Sometimes reporting relationships might need to temporarily change while you conduct your investigation. So figure that step out next.
All right. Step number 4.
Conducting the interviews. So this is where the investigation gets fun. So we talked a little about conducting the actual interviews with the complainant, the respondent, and any witnesses they might be bringing forward.
Okay. Number 5.
After you got all that information, you finalize. So you determine whether the complainant is substantiated, whether it's inconclusive, or whether the complaint was not substantiated.
Okay. And finally,
you take some action. So depending on what the outcomes are, you then determine what the appropriate consequences for the individuals is. So everything from firing the person to nothing happens because there was nothing to the complaint.
Right. So in this case, no action is indeed action.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a conscious decision to take no action.
All right. Okay. And so we remind everybody, too, that there's great risk involved for organizations if this isn't done well. So managers at all levels should be paying attention to any time they have to do an investigation. So Jed and I talk, as he mentioned, more about this on our full-length podcast, which you can pick up again at www.wileymanager.com or any of the other places you go to pick up podcasts. So we'll look forward to talking to you soon, Jed.
Thanks, Bob.